City really want the same thing in the end, a safer and better environment for everyone who lives in the area. The disagreement comes with how that can be achieved.
Every serious, complicated problem can usually have a simple, easy to understand and wrong answer. And this is the wrong answer.
As the movement for Buckhead to split off and become its own city gains momentum, so is the opposition. Edward Lindsay, who's a former state representative, and attorney Linda Klein, who's the former president of the American Bar Association, formed the Committee for a United Atlanta. And they want to make it clear, becoming Buckhead City is easier said than done.
The local delegation from that particular community have to sign off on the bill before it even goes to a committee, before it even goes to the floor of the House and the Senate. Quite frankly, given the political makeup of the delegation from the city of Atlanta and from the Fulton County delegation, it just isn't practical. I mean, it's an overwhelmingly Democratic delegation.
According to Lindsay, if they make it through this first step, they need to convince the state General Assembly that forming Buckhead City is a good idea.
They've got to convince, quite frankly, 180 members of the House and 56 members of the Senate that by doing so, they're not going to be harming these representatives' places back home.
He also says there's no legislator representing Buckhead who is pushing for this change, something other cities like Sandy Springs and Brookhaven had. Lindsay points out
Politics, the Truth. I'm your host, Anika Inman, and we have Todd Gray sitting here with us. He's been here telling us all about why, number one, why you should consider voting for him for post 1 at large for the city of Atlanta, for all the things that he plans to bring from a solution standpoint to the city. Todd, another thing is housing pricing is another big topic for the city of Atlanta. What policy and initiatives will you try to put in place that fairness and affordable housing is back in place?
Thank you for that. And it is the issue. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of lifelong residents can no longer afford to live in the neighborhoods they grew up in. Mm-hmm. And we want growth in the city, right? But we need to have smart development. So when companies are courted into Georgia and they're courted into Atlanta, mm-hmm. and they receive the benefit of our tax allocation, that has to come with a commitment to this city.
Sure.
And that commitment, yes, we want to create jobs, yes, we want to bring jobs, mm-hmm. but we also want to retain the culture and the vibrancy of the city. So we must develop with the sight of the entire city in mind. Right. From affordability on a housing perspective, mm-hmm. from affordability when you look at all the goods and services, mm-hmm. we have to make sure we have grocery in neighborhoods, right. and develop new sectors of the community. Mm-hmm. We got to make sure we got sidewalk equity across the city. You know, that's a very important piece. You know, the connectivity to the bus or to the train. So when we talk about affordable housing, one of the great things we've seen is the Beltline. Yes. That has emerged and become a lot of individuals in the city's mm-hmm. favorite thing to do, and go out and experience. Yes. But we also saw the spike of housing in those communities. Mm-hmm. And in the Atlanta we live in today, a lot of those who use the Beltline mm-hmm. can't afford to live on the Beltline.
That's exactly right.
But I'm sure the intent was there. So what we have to do as elected officials is to make sure we're not just having a pep rally mm-hmm. when new companies come into the city, when we have that next development, when we put supplier diversity mm-hmm. goals on the table, which gets diverse and small businesses involved so that we create jobs, increase the income base, and now we can afford to live, mm-hmm. work, and play. We need to make sure we don't only just say that right. at the pep rally. The Super Bowl happens when the community wins. And we have to have elected officials that drive accountability, mm-hmm. not just press releases.
I like that. I like that a lot. What programs or strategies can the city of Atlanta employ to expedite economic recovery from the COVID-19 impact?
Support the small businesses. We all have felt at our favorite restaurant when we go, they're closed on Monday, they're closed on Tuesday coming out of COVID when we had the small window. We all have probably seen increasing or decreasing levels of quality of service. Mm-hmm. And that is for a multitude of reasons. Yes. Think about that small business or that diverse business or that bakery or that bar that was going to open right. that may have had a license in process, mm-hmm. but has not gained the license right. due to services available during COVID. All of those things play into the factor. Mm-hmm. So I think we need to, this time around, make sure we're